Hello and welcome to my solution for task number 6 from week 2, guessing number, a program. We were supposed to create a simple program that would keep prompting users. So I've done the version with 2 users. The first user is prompted to set a guessing number, and then we move on to the second user, and the second user is the user trying to guess the actual number. We are filtering the inputs both for correct data type and then a correct data type within the range. So let's run it first, and then we're going to run it in debug mode to see how it behaves. Okay, so if we put the wrong data type, we get an error. Then if we put a number out of range, we get an error. Number out of range on the plus side. So we will be prompted, up until we put an acceptable input within the range. So let's set a number of 5. So now we are moving on to the second user, and that user will try to guess that number 5. So if user number 2's input will be invalid data type, we will get an error. If it's out of range, error, out of range, we get an error. If user number 2 is trying to generally guess the number but it's not lucky and didn't guess, then we will keep prompting up until he'll guess. And once he guesses, and then we have this nice message: bravo, you got it, you've done it, you guessed. So let's see what happens. Let's run the program in debug mode. I will set some points here to show how the program behaves. We'll stop here, then we'll stop at the exception. We will then stop here, and we'll stop here, and then at the end. Okay, let's see. Apologies for the noise. Those are my super active cats. Okay, so before we reach the first checkpoint, we have to feed the program with some option. So first we ask user number 1, okay, so what type of number do you want the other user to guess? So if we put the wrong data type, let's see what happens. An exception should be fired. I put a checkpoint here, yeah. So at the exact point here, there's an exception saying that the string was not a correct format. It's not a format that we expect. We expect an integer. So when we run it, then we have to go through the whole options, and then we wrap it from the beginning. So yeah, the user number 1 will be prompted again and again and again for the right input. So let's put the right data type but out of range and see what happens. So we will pass through this checkpoint because it wasn't fired, because there was no reason to be fired. So we reach this checkpoint, and we can see the number that user number 1 wants to assign is 44. It won't be accepted because it's out of range, but at this point it is showing 44. when we will keep executing the program, we will be prompted, okay, you have to put the valid number. The same if we were to put the negative number, it won't be accepted. It will be swapped here, but it won't be accepted. It will be swapped like for a second. So if we set the right number within the range of right data type, then program will keep executing and move on to user number 2. So as we can see, the number was assigned 5. It was accepted and we moved on to the next checkpoint. So now we are prompting user number 2, okay, start guessing the number. So let's do the same thing. Let's see what happens if user's number 2 guess is invalid data type. Then again, the same, I put a checkpoint here just to be able to catch it at the exact moment where it says that exception was fired. The same as in the user's number 1 in the previous example is exactly the same behavior. So let's execute through the other checkpoint and it will wrap around and prompt us again, okay, you have to put the right data type. So let's put the right data type but out of range. And then we will not fire this point. We will not fire, we will not fall into the first if statement. We will fall into the second one. And this is where I put a point to be able to see that 33 was kind of offered, but if we keep executing our program, we will be prompted again. So it's like kind of it's being offered, but it will not be accepted. It's the same thing if we were to put the negative number. If we keep executing, it will wrap around because it's not accepted. So let's try guessing and let's see what happens. We guess number 2. As you can see, like the number 2 is here, is accepted, is within the range, but we are not lucky. We haven't guessed it yet. So let's try it one more time. Oh, we have to keep executing. So we have to move, wrap around. Yeah, let's try again. Yes, so our offer is number 4, but we are again not lucky. And let's do the last guess, which is number 5. As we can see, it was swapped again here, and as we execute the program, it will fall out of the while loop because this is no longer true. And because this is no longer true, it means that we have guessed and we move on to the last, executing the last line of our code, which is the congratulations message. Thank you very much. Oh, and if we keep executing, it should show like here. Yeah, bravo, you got it. So thank you.